back here with Fire Emblem 3 houses, or a talk's about to happen.
This is where your father lived.
This is in fact where our father lived, so this, well, I mean, for like the past 6 months, 7 months, 8, however long it's been. So yes, we suffered a sudden and hefty loss at the end of last episode, and we are about to see how that unfolds with poor little seeing a smile is considered rare for me. Violet over here does not know how to process her emotions. This is probably going to go totally well, and we're not going to have any violent thoughts or anything like that.
Are you still crying?
Yeah, yes. That's pretty fair.
Turning back the hands of time was not enough to save his life. You must accept what came to pass was fate.
To be fair, we only tried it once, but point received. It wasn't fate.
Control yourself.
You control yourself!
The world's death was at the hands of wicked ones. A fate is still a fate.
Whatever you say, Sothis.
Your father said to look for something here. He must have been referring to whatever is behind that bookcase there.
Your eyes are sharper than mine. I didn't even see that bookcase until now. Books? Dad didn't read books. That's suspicious.
Father's diary.
Never mind. He wrote them.
His handwriting is prettier than his face would suggest.
That's my father you're talking about.
Well. These entries here are from before your birth. He seems to have been writing this for quite some time.
So did he leave it at the monastery, or was he taking it with him? I guess it makes sense he was taking it with him.
Read that part there. Horsebow Moon, year 1159.
Well, you're reading it fairly well enough if you just read the date. Why don't you read it?
Day 20 of the Horsebow Moon. All is cloudy. I can't believe she's dead. Lady Rhea said she died during childbirth. But is that the truth? Still, the child she traded her life for doesn't make a sound. Didn't even cry at birth. Day 25 of the Horsebow
That's certainly
Moon.
strange.
It's raining. The baby doesn't laugh or cry. Not ever.
Well, maybe you gotta find better jokes.
Lady Rhea says
Or
not to
sad
worry about
stories.
a baby that doesn't cry. It isn't natural.
Yeah, that's pretty
The
strange.
doctor examined the child in secret. He said the pulse is normal, but there's no heartbeat. No heartbeat.
Also
Day 2
odd.
of the Wyvern Moon. Sunny. I feel I must take the child and leave. But the church is always watching us. I don't know what Lady Rhea has planned. I used to think the world of Lady Rhea. Now I'm terrified of her. Day 8 of the Wyvern Moon. More rain. I used the fire that broke out last night to fake the child's death. Lady Rhea is in a state over the news, but I can't change what I've done. I've got to take the child and leave.
And so he did. And there are no more entries after that, or that's just where we...
Baby must be you.
Yes, well put together.
That means... Someone is approaching us.
We should show them this book. No, stuff it, stow it away.
There you are.
Hey, Dimitri.
Lady Rhea is looking for you, Professor.
No, how timely. That's a little scary. Can you tell her I'm reading?
And after your audience, why don't you join me at the dining hall? You haven't eaten since it happened, have you?
No, but I ate like 12 meals a day every day for the past 9 months, so I should have a bit of nutrients stored up somewhere in me.
Forgive me. I suppose it's too soon to try and coax you back into the normal swing of things.
I appreciate the effort all the
As
same.
for what happened to Gerald, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't do anything to stop it.
Well, neither could I, so
Stay here until
don't worry
I
about it.
promise some peace. I'll cover for you with Lady Rhea and everyone else.
Oh, thank you. That's exactly what I was proposing. If only... No, don't be an ass. Thank you.
We'll be waiting for you whenever you're ready to return to us.
Understood.
I don't believe it's a sign of strength to just keep moving forward no matter what.
I think you're absolutely right.
Taking the time to grieve for those we've lost, there's strength in that too. That's what I think anyway.
And respect, if not only strength.
That said,
And other good qualities.
it's also important to remember that no matter how sad you are, eventually your tears will dry up.
Good shout, good shout.
That's when you have to figure out what it is you're living for. Then you can cling to that with all your might and start moving forward again.
This is all starting to sound very personal, Dimitri. What I'm living for?
4 years ago in Dusker, I experienced the same pain you're feeling now.
Drama swapping! Yay!
My father was the strongest man I knew. Someone I loved and admired deeply. That day, he was killed before my eyes. His head severed clean off. My stepmother,
Well, that's rough.
the kindest person I had ever known, left me behind and disappeared into the infernal flames.
Also, not the coolest thing to have happen.
Everyone who I considered precious. My family and my closest friends. I couldn't save any of them. Not a single one. Now, the burden of the work they left behind falls on me. I must ensure they have no regrets. That's my duty as the sole survivor of the tragedy.
So what you're saying is all I need to do is find a similarly impactful destiny to strive towards that I can always have something to move forward with? That's gonna be difficult. Yours sounds really important and well thought out.
It's a heavy burden, but accepting it gave me the strength to pick myself up off the ground and start moving again. Start living again. Gerald is gone. So what will you do now, Professor? What must you do?
Eat, for one, but long term I have no idea. You're gonna need to give me more than like 30 seconds to think of
In
it.
your heart, and I'm certain you'll find the answer there. Indelible and inescapable.
I sure hope so, buddy.
I've probably bothered you enough for today, but I have just one more thought to leave.
No bother at all. What is this thought?
Even now, Sedith is gathering the knights to begin a full-scale search for the enemy.
Ah,
It may not be right away, but before long they will find their trail.
that's concerning.
No matter what happens,
Because I won't be able to help myself from
anyone
going
may
there.
say, know that I plan to stand by you, Professor. Through anything. Until the bitter end.
I understand.
Well, did you search deep within yourself as he suggested?
Well, damn, man.
Did
You
you
gotta give me
find
more than
yourself
like a
some
minute.
This book is
This is
filled
you talking
with
about my whole
secrets
life
of
here.
unknown. We must return another time to read the rest.
Or bring it with us. It's not the biggest book.
But I have at least figured one thing out.
Yes?
I know now why our fates are intertwined.
Right. Because of whatever it is that Rhea did to me as a wee infant. Reading is knowledge and knowledge is power, as it turns out. Oh, Rhea. Oh, I thought Dimitri was covering... Never mind, here I am.
I am filled with grief at the loss of our most celebrated knight.
Oh, yeah, it's a real tragedy. Better be off now.
Gerald was an ally of many years, and also a dear friend.
But it had been so long since you last saw him. And you can't have been friends anymore, that's bullshit.
With one of the nuns here at Garrickmach.
Ah?
Their love produced a child, whom she died giving birth to. It was her decision. She weighed her own life against that of her child's and, in the end, implored me to save the child.
And since there was nothing sketchy about the circumstances of my birth, I have no reason whatsoever to assume that you're lying about
Our
that.
father never truly accepted that decision. He took the child, took you, and disappeared without warning.
Ah, so you know he was faking my death. Who was my mother? I mean, I know she was a nun, but more details, please.
She was my...
Your...
Sorry for the interruption, Lady Rhea.
No, shut up,
There's
Alois, I need to hear
something
this.
must hear immediately. A report from the knights patrolling the area.
Very well. Professor, you are dismissed for the day.
Alright, put it in a letter then.
Please rest and focus only
I need to hear that.
on mending your heart. Understood?
Alright. I will try. I mean, except for when I go out on excursions with the students to find holy artifacts and save their hometowns and stuff. But yes, I will focus on mending my broken heart for the time being. Today at least.
Part 1.
Ah, he's alive!
White Clouds. Guardian Moon. Where the goddess dwells.
Africa?
Long ago,
Where does the
guardian
goddess dwell? I don't know.
Made an appearance during this moon. She had been
Well, the
summoned
sky,
by
I
the
guess.
goddess, whose soul was suffering as the flames of war raged across Fodlan.
Yeah, that'll do that to a
High
person.
in the sky above Saros, the Immaculate One's mighty wings are what powered the strong winds carrying the Guardian and her forces into battle.
Well, they've got a bit of the story mixed up, but understood. That was pretty. Brokenheartedness is going to be the hardest enemy we've had to fight in this whole game. 5,000 gold! Never mind, all my troubles are over. I can fix all my weapons now, I'm so happy.
What are you doing at this hour? Oh, I know. You are eavesdropping. I must admit that I approve.
You're in my head. How can you not have known this was my intent when I walked over to Dimitri standing alone in this courtyard? Oh, wow, I'm not very good at eavesdropping.
We must remain quiet.
Oh, no, you were talking about Dimitri. Never mind.
I see. The Flame Emperor and Monica. And the mage who rescued Monica.
Wow, they're all just standing in Garrick Mach, and we're just watching by ourselves. What is that guy's name?
I don't know, but if we keep listening, we might be able to find out.
An unexpected chance to hear their plans. Patience, patience.
I am patienting. Shut up. You're ruining my concentration.
You saved me.
If you were to die, then the mystery
Did she wait like 3 days before thanking him?
preventing that.
What an ass.
I'm afraid you must remain, Kronya. There is something I need you to do.
Oh, of course. I am always happy to cooperate with Solon. Leave it to me.
Wow. I can't imagine anyone saying they'd be happy to cooperate with Solon. He just seems so disagreeable all the time.
Flame Emperor, is she offending you? Unfortunately, we cannot take our eyes off her, so there is nothing to be done. You are our greatest creation. We use the defiled beast's blood as the fuel to your flame, that you may burn even the gods.
I was just writing this down, okay? Defiled beast blood, fuel to flame,
Now is
burn
the time
gods.
to cleanse Fodlan with that power and bring forth our salvation.
Man, hasn't God been through enough?
There will be no salvation for you and your kind.
Cool,
Those
cool.
responsible for such gruesome deeds in Dusker and Enmar.
All so that you may acquire the strength you need. All for a...
Well, I don't know that all you did was specifically for them, but
I've got you. Finally.
I don't know. Wait, Dimitri, patience. Wait, hang on. Wait, don't go out there. Let's keep listening. Those are all the same thing. Don't go out there.
If we don't act now, we'll miss our chance.
Well, we shouldn't have been whispering so loudly. Damn it.
Even if someone has overheard us.
Wait, what? Did we just smack the Flame Emperor with zero reaction?
In the walls, and there always will be.
Look who's talking about rats in walls. Your beard looks like a rat. Wow, we sort of had a chance to do something there and then sort of flubbed it. Unless we were listening from like half a mile away, in which case good job on us earring.
The dagger.
What about the dagger?
No, never mind. It couldn't possibly be so.
What? Do you have some kind of history with daggers that we don't know about, Dimitri?
Destroy. They're the bastards who killed my family and Gerald.
Yeah, they weren't very nice when they did those things.
For now,
We
let's
should probably
return to the
ask them about
monastery
that.
and regroup. As for the Flame Emperor's dagger, I'll hold on to it for the time being.
Cool. Good shout. No need to bring that to the authorities or anything. I'm sure the entire army of the church will not help here. We'll just keep it to ourselves. It's Ingrid's birthday. Hey, this is super awkward because I just did a bunch of covert stuff and I've been crying nonstop for a week, but
Thank you
let's
for
have
inviting
tea.
me.
Sure.
Thank you.
Look at all the treats we have. Ba, 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 ba. Ignoring all of my problems. It's a bit hot. Well, it's on fire. That's how tea works.
Yes.
A place you'd like to visit, working together, potential training partners. You like training and becoming a better knight. Relaxing at the sauna. Favorite sweets, gifts you'd like to receive. You like food. Something we can bond over. Food in the dining hall. Boom! Easy one.
When did you start sword training? I was 5 when I began.
I was probably in the womb. It's grabbing embryonic something to use as a sword. Chat, admonish, blush. Discuss when I started sword training, I guess. Perfect tea time. Forehead! What do you say?
Is there something on my face?
Hair and nose and eye. Well, that's enough of that. Bye now.
Thank you for the treat. I had such a great time.
I could have, you know what? It could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse. Did we get charisma? Booyaksha! Gambits ahoy. All right, now back to being sad. Aw, it's so crushing to see her just standing in her room. Like, because normally this would be where she'd be like looking at that huge corkboard being like, okay, so what do I got to do today? But now she's just like too out of it to... She's still doing it, but it's just like you can imagine her spending 3 hours just like moving pins slowly and then like head on the desk, just like not really able to focus on it. Because you don't have any more supports to break the flow of this. So, oh, Marketplace, have they got more? The market music is still very happy. They've got more advanced deals, don't they? I kind of want to spend money on that. Well, I'll spend money on all that stuff once I do all the fishing, which I'm going to do off camera after this episode, basically. Oh, energy drop. I want to give that to Mercedes, please, before I forget. What is your strength at? 23, nice. All right. So do you have more snark for me about crying all this
If you
time?
must weep, then weep. I shall be here for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Well, it would be ridiculous to not feel anything after something like that.
Even though you made fun of me earlier for it.
Let it out. I am here.
Okay. I like the fade out there because it implies that she actually does do that. And it's very out of character at this moment anyways for Sothis to be so receptive to Byleth's feelings at all, I guess. Normally she gets the most fulfillment out of just chastising for Byleth for being an idiot, but... so let's get talking. Right. Look for Gerald's belongings in his quarters. I mean, it's just gonna be like a bunch of empty beer bottles and maybe a fishing rod. Some black sand steel and tea of the saints. Man, people are just leaving all their most valuable stuff around. Maybe those were Gerald's belongings for all I know. Still gotta train with the Fraldarius soldiers. I haven't done that. It's been months. Hey, Claude. When I first did this mission in the very first run I did, I walked very slowly everywhere just to roleplay a little bit. And it took like forever, which is why I'm not gonna do it now. Hey, Claude. Any words of support for me in my very trying time?
I haven't lost a parent yet, so I can't even begin to understand how you must be feeling. But even while you're standing still, the world keeps on moving. I always find that oddly comforting.
That's a very nice thing to say. And I appreciate you for not trivializing my, loss of family. Hey, Lawrence.
There is no one here who has not heard tales of Gerald's valor. We have suffered a most dear loss.
So it is.
I do not know what the enemy's aim was, but I do know this. After what they have done, we cannot suffer them to live.
Don't be a bad influence on me.
Nothing I can do to ensure that justice is brought swiftly. You need only give the word.
I appreciate the feeling behind that. Handmade hair clip. Ooh, that's probably Hilda's, right? She likes making accessories. I feel like returning people's lost items would give Byleth a little comfort in these times. She likes helping people and being helpful.
Like you're holding up okay, but
Does it?
I'm worried about Leonie. She really
Right.
loved Gerald. I hope she can bounce back.
You're right. I shouldn't be only thinking of myself at this point. By the way, is this yours?
Found it. Thank you so much. You're a sweetheart.
No, you're a sweetheart. But also, get out of my way because I'm trying to talk to
Say a
Marianne.
prayer for Gerald's soul. There's not much else I can do.
Don't say that. You can always, murder some giant lizards. That will actually help me, Marianne. You don't have to. I wasn't being sarcastic. Look at the kitty. Hello, that's the wrong button. Meow. Whoa, your whiskers are long. This is always such a super interesting point in the game, though, because at this point you get to really, at other times there's all kinds of pomp and circumstance and noble training and stuff that sort of filters what everyone's saying, but very much so here, people are not filtering themselves when they're talking to Byleth. Like Lawrence was just straight up we should kill them. Because they care about Byleth enough, they're trying to they basically just let out exactly what they're thinking to try and help her, whether it's to various degrees of effectiveness and probably healthiness. Lauren suggesting we should kill them is not good. I would say is an unhealthy stance. I mean, for some people, maybe it would be what they want to hear at the moment, even if they don't actually go murder people in revenge, but...
Professor? Do you think we'll still be able to graduate?
I don't think one knight's death really would deter that. Considering how many we've lost in the other events of this year so far.
Dangerous things keep happening around here? Who even knows?
Oh, that. Well, who knows?
I hope that all the students and professors will be there to celebrate at the graduation ceremony.
Well, that's already not quite true. Wait, have we lost any professors or students? I guess not. Well, no, right. A number of students went missing at some point. So yeah, sorry. No can do. Felix and Sylvain, how you two holding up?
Dark expressions don't suit you, Professor. But I'm glad to see you out in the world again.
Oh, thanks. Sorry, expressions aren't my strong suit, as we've well covered.
This month will be a quiet one around here. There aren't many knights around to liven things up.
Most of the knights are gone, seeking out the enemy.
Isn't that a bit much?
Yeah.
I agree it's important, but is it a good idea to neglect the safety of the monastery?
And more importantly, the students therein? No, I don't think it is.
What do you think, Professor?
It would be a shame if we were invaded.
I agree. We can send some knights after our enemies, but so many? It makes the church seem reckless.
It's funny the way sometimes things are exactly how they seem. Well, thanks you two anyways. What's this? An unfinished score. Probably belongs to someone who likes to sing.
Eddie!
I will say, what Annette and Mercedes say to you during this chapter is what made me cry the very first time. I didn't cry at the last, like, the scene of his death up until then, and then when that happened, I was just like, and I just like burst apart.
When I heard that Monica was
I think I'm ready this time, so it probably won't happen again. But
surprised by how unsurprised I was.
I know, she was really weird, wasn't she? That whole time we knew her, which was like a month and a half.
Something was just off about her. It's hard to explain.
It's probably how the second she was rescued, she started sneaking around and making secret meetings with certain house leaders.
That said, whenever she had free time, she was always hanging around with the Edelgard.
That's what I'm saying.
I wonder if Edelgard is also... Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm just being paranoid. Please ignore me.
Understandable. There's lots of strange things going on. Whoa, I love your hair. Dang, that's a nice color. And the styling, too. She could make my hair look like that. Nah, I do like Violet's sort of like messy, like shoulder length kind of style she's got going here. I mean, I guess it's not actually that messy, like on the top. It's hard. It's like they're trying to go for a messy style, but because it's computer generated, it looks styled. But I can't imagine any reason why Violet would have known how to style their hair, so... It's probably meant to be unstyled. Anyways, what am I talking about my hair for? A toothed dagger. Felix, right? Because he was in here when we were teaching him how to dance. Animal bone dice? Who the hell else was here? Weird games, maybe like Catherine or Eloise. Hey, Raphael.
You gotta keep yourself active during tough times, Professor. Even if it seems impossible.
Right, on the 5th day anyways.
That's how I got through it when I lost my parents.
Oh, thanks for the advice.
Just come and see me. Eating and training are my specialties.
Nice. I'm glad for this new information. Is any of this yours? Nah. Hey, Caspar. I know injustice kind of rubs you the wrong way, so are you feeling all right?
I'm not even close to being strong enough. I mean, Gerald was so much stronger than me. That's enough. I can't dwell on the past. There's no way to know what my future holds, but I do know one thing.
You're gonna punch some stuff.
Whatever happens, I have to make my own way in this world.
That's more or less what I said.
I can grow even stronger.
That's a good goal. That's a good. I mean, it's a little dramatic and violent, but yeah, I get your point. You're gonna make your own path in life. You're gonna do good, kiddo. Don't you worry. I don't know why I'm being all patronizing and world weary when I'm the one who's suffering a huge loss right now. Hey, Dimitri.
Professor, welcome back. We all were... You've been on our minds.
That's very kind of you to say. And it means a lot. Up until this point, I thought you were all just completely lying to my face about how much you cared about me.
Know that your enemies are my enemies. I will do all I can to help you find justice.
I understand.
No one else I can. My strength is yours alone.
Oh, don't say that. Just because you confided in me doesn't mean I'm the only one.
I will fight as you command.
You can trust.
I will kill anyone, should you ask it of me.
Whoa, okay there. I'm, again, starting to become a bad influence on me. I'm starting to realize why I'm having all these violent thoughts, and it's maybe because half of you are encouraging them in me. I understand. It's a cultural thing. I know you're not. It's Fargus. Fargus makes people say stuff like that. Hopefully it's different under your rule. Hey, Dorothea.
I've sung lyrics lamenting death many times on stage, but when something like this happens in real life, I'm lost. I don't know what to say.
Well, it means a great deal that you would recognize that instead of just pretending to know what to say.
You know this much. Sir Gerald must have been very proud to have you as his child.
That's nice. Thank you. I sure as hell hope so. I didn't even get to tell him about the romantic night I had on the tower. Hey, Cynthia.
I'm sure you will pull through this because you're so strong, Professor.
I'm not as strong as Mercedes.
Stay calm during such tumultuous and upsetting times.
I'll try.
We don't know the nature of our enemies. If we underestimate them, anything could happen.
Yes, all we know is that they have strange facial hair. We should be careful.
Yes, I agree. I don't want to lose you too, Professor.
I don't want to lose you either, Cynthia. Better be very careful about not putting you right in front of the tanks. What this? Man, look at all these lost. Man, it's just one knight dies and everyone loses everything. What's this? I'm training. Oh my god! I'm sorry for your loss, Professor. Thank you. No, why do I keep saying thank you so cheerily? Thank you is what I meant. Much more solemn. There we go. Normal human reaction.
I trained with Gerald just the other day. Why? Why did he have to go and die?
Well, I don't think it was on purpose.
It's too awful. He didn't deserve it.
No, most people who die don't. How's it going? Why don't you take a look at my tear-stained face and guess?
Do you have time for a request?
I guess so. Practice battle maneuvers with the Adrestian Empire's Imperial Guard. The Adrestian Empire's Imperial Guard is looking for someone to train with. They are said to be the cream of the crop, but I'm certain you can hold your own. I guess I'll try, man, but I'm kind of going through something in them right now. Hey there. Noseless puppet. Wood carving is, Gilbert, right? But he's with the Knights, so he's probably not around. Who is eating their troubles away in the dining hall? Oh, hi there.
The other night, I had the honor of sharing a drink with Gerald. He was pretty tactless, honestly.
Yeah, that was him.
Could be blunt at times. He always looked like such a proud, happy father whenever he spoke of you.
Oh, and he never said any of this to my face because I don't process emotions right. Damn it, it's all my fault. Hi, guys.
I'm so glad you're okay, Professor. Worried. Oh, Professor, you must be starving. Mercy and I made some sweets for you. We were thinking that if you were to eat something sweet, it might help you feel better.
It would. Thank you for the thought.
Baking sweets is my specialty. I'm sure they'll do the trick.
Thank you. Now I know if you've never seen this bit before, you're probably like, what? That's what made you cry? What the hell is wrong with you? But it just so oh, not training logbook. Oh no, it does say training logbook. I misread it the first time, and then actually turns out I didn't misread it the first time because I misread it the second time. I thought it said tanning logbook for 3 seconds a minute ago. Never mind. Turns out that's got to be Caspar's. Anyways, this one made me cry because it seems like this is like the thing I would expect the most out of a real person whom I was close to if something like this happened to me. Not to like throw shade on the way they wrote Dimitri to react, because that's Dimitri through and through, to say I would kill someone if that would make you feel better. But this one hit a little closer because this is like a more real reaction I would expect from someone in my time period to like bake me cookies or whatever if I like just like as a consolation thing. Just like the small human gesture is, because the fact that it seems less profound makes it feel more close, I guess. Anyways, where the hell was that song? Oh, it's the first thing. Here you go.
Oh, that! I thought it was gone for good. How did you know it was mine?
Well, it was more the contents of the lyrics that tipped me off than anything else. I couldn't imagine that those were Dimitri's lyrics about steaks and yummy yum crumbs. Edelgard.
Professor, what happened to Gerald? It's terrible.
Yeah.
If there's anything I can do, simply ask. Even if what you desire is revenge, I'll gladly lend you my power.
There's a lot of that going around at the moment. It's a little
Get away with this.
unnerving. Well, we'll do what we can. Hey, Petra.
Professor, please lend us your ears. Ferdinand is saying impossible things.
Really? Is he going like, because that's pretty impossible to say.
I do not see what is impossible about it. All I said was that if you want to go back to Brigid, you probably can.
Oh, just because it's dangerous here?
The Empire's guest, so to speak. They cannot afford for something bad to happen to you. There would be a diplomatic incident. Someone close to us has turned up dead. So one could argue that you are not safe here anymore.
You're just gonna say that right in front of me, Ferdy?
I am not returning to home until I have grabbed my goal. I will not be listening to the words of Ferdinand.
You do whatever.
Look, I did not
it's your
mean
choice.
To pressure you. Apologies for the misunderstanding.
He was just trying to make sure you had the option. Rare weapons isn't. I don't know if this is yours, actually. I mean, I thought animal bone dice maybe because you're into hunting and stuff, but weird games is not really your thing. It's okay, Ferdinand. I understand you were just trying to make sure she knew she had the option. Battles enemies outdoors. That could be Catherine or Caspar, I guess. It's a shame none of the knights are not here at the moment. Hi.
Oh no.
You feeling this too, Gatekeeper?
Professor, thank you for all you have done for us. Nothing to report today.
Hey, it's okay, buddy. I mean, Gerald's not coming back or anything, but we still have each other, you and I, in our long storied history to fall back on for comfort. Ingrid, how about that tea time we had before? Man, we ate so much.
Sorry. I never quite know what to say at times like these.
Yeah, it would be sort of strange if you did.
Just don't push yourself too hard too soon. It's okay to allow yourself to be sad right now.
Thank you. I'm going to do just that. I'm going to allow myself to be crestfallen, in fact.
Losing someone dear to you. Well, each loss is unique, but it's a feeling I know very well.
Thank you for acknowledging that as well. That's a really good thing to acknowledge when, man, this is like, I feel bad for just breezing through this because these people are all talking about how they react to death. But much like them, I don't really know how to like process this in a way that is at all, like on screen process this in a way that is appropriate to the discussion of losing someone close to you, which is partially why I'm just kind of breezing through it and trying to just get through each bit of dialogue, making no more or less jokes than I usually do. But that's an amazingly important thing to recognize also, that just because you've experienced the same thing technically that someone else has does not mean you're feeling the same thing about it. Each loss is unique is very, very true.
Professor,
Yes? Never mind. Let me just try and figure out who all this is right now. Clean white cloth, someone who wears glasses. Ignatz has glasses, Hahnemann has a monocle, so it might be either of them. Noses puppet, probably Gilbert. This is probably Catherine or Caspar. Picky about cooking utensils, I guess do, because he's pretty, like he doesn't go halfway with that stuff. Tooth dagger, rare weapons, like I guess Felix? Out of the goddess, I'm pretty sure that's Ignatz. This, I'm not entirely sure. I was thinking Catherine. I think we found this in the training hall, right? Catherine, maybe Shamir. Train logbook, train let's see, Felix or, Caspar, I guess. I don't see Felix as the one who would actually write the stuff down. Caspar more like. Anyways, bloody hell, is this another lost item? Introduction to magic, someone who's not good at magic. Oh, damn. Some uncommon fish out there today. That'll be handy for off camera. Black sand steel. Man, look at all the free black sand steel we're getting.
Captain Gerald.
Hey, Leonie.
He's gone, and we'd only just reunited. I'm sorry. I'm sure this is even harder on you, but I can't believe.
No, it's hard on both of us. I understand what he meant to you. Is any of this yours? No, I guess. Maybe this?
Someone lost this? Some people just don't appreciate what they have.
Just like me before my dad died. No, sorry. Why don't you have a thing that eats flies?
Thanks.
Just to take your mind off all that dead mentor stuff.
Hello there.
Hi. What did I miss? Everyone looks so glum. Just maybe take the week off. Don't go around knocking people around the monastery. You'll be better off without it. What's all this? A light purple veil. Someone likes fashion, so purple Laurens, and like fashion Laurens, but maybe also Annette or Mercedes, because they're into like doing themselves up and all. A lovely comb. Someone takes care of the long hair. That probably is also Mercedes, actually. Crops are doing quite well lately. Hell yeah! Please tell me I got some perma buffs. Please, please. That's Dex, isn't it? ALL pomegranate. Sweet. Let's just dump like 1, 2, 3. Then, Angelica is what you use to make the hero salad, which increases your magic temporarily. Let's just do 4 blue and then 1 white. Go to fate that. Well, crops are doing quite well, but why was the yield like 1 wheat thing sprig then? Hey, do.
It is a shame what happened to Gerald.
Yeah, I would categorize it as under the shame table heading.
Sorry. There are no words. Leave some flowers on his grave for me.
I will do that, probably, if I remember. Oh, is this your pot?
That belongs to me.
Yes.
I apologize for the trouble.
No trouble, no trouble, no trouble at all.
Hello there.
Hi, Bernie, you're out of your room.
Professor, I brought some flowers for Gerald.
Oh, that means a lot, considering how terrifying this probably is, going out in broad daylight and all. Thank you.
It's the least I can do. Sometimes I feel like all I do is run away.
Well, sometimes you stay still as well.
Anyway, I'll go lay them out.
That's very kind. I appreciate that immensely, more than you could know. You like pitcher plants. Here you go.
Wow, thank you so much.
Don't put that on Gerald's grave, though. That's for your room. Linny.
I slipped quietly into the vault and rummaged about, looking for anything we might find useful. There is a group of people who want to kill us, after all.
Pragmatic, I like it.
But this is no time for asking permission. I learned long ago that one can ask permission or forgiveness. It is rarely useful to request the former.
Linhart's full of so many good one-liners like that. One of my favorites, and it's from way later in the game, I think. Just because an option is better doesn't mean it's good. Because it sounds so snarky, but it's so damn true.
Still, it appears
it's rarely useful to request the former.
There were crest-related objects I thought might be worth studying, so there you go again with that stern look.
That's not a thing, that doesn't help us in our situation, Linhart. Of course I'm going to be stern about it.
Assuming they bear no additional use.
You know, it's my job to make sure you don't do this shit. He just has no qualms whatsoever about telling me he's just wantonly just breaking the rules. Father? Mother? Are you sleeping well? Do you need me to put a bag of warm water beneath your legs or something? Oh man, my mother was only 20? I'm counting that right? Because Gerald right now is pretty old. We don't know exactly how old, but we know he's older than he looks, and he looks about, like, if I would have said 50 or maybe like mid-50s, so if he's older than that, and maybe he's like 80 or something, Aragorn style, or was at least at the time of his death, which was 1180, so if he was born in 1100-ish, there was a pretty big age gap between him and his lady love. But medieval times, I guess it's not as weird. I mean, Manuela and Dorothea can get together under certain circumstances in this game, so actually that even then, that probably would have been a smaller age gap. Anyways, it's a nice grave. It's a nice grave. It's sort of surprising that this is the well, I was gonna say that this is the only, like, this is such a small graveyard, but then I consider that this is probably specifically for like close members of the church, considering it's so close to the heart of the monastery. So it's probably a huge honor that he and her are buried there. He and she are buried there. They are buried there. Well, since helping other people makes Viola feel better, let's, 3 notes, it's my lucky day. I try to hold back when swinging a weapon, but sometimes I misjudge my own strength. I've broken so many weapons this way. Is there anything I can do to remedy this? Take care to repair weapons between training sessions. Use the sturdiest weapons money can buy. Accidents happen, just find a new one when yours breaks. Oh, bugger, actually, this is kind of hard. I'm gonna say use this, just, he probably wants to just, like, get something sturdy, so. Use the sturdiest weapons money can buy. Probably he was okay with hearing accidents happen. I typically decorate with red roses when I host a tea party, but lately I'm considering the virtues of variety. Do you have any thoughts about other flowers I might try? You should consider pitcher plants, smell of baby's breath, compare well with tea. White lilies are pleasant and calming. White lilies have the most sort of sophisticated air, I would think. Just if for no other reason than the name of this flower. White lilies are pleasant and calming. There we are. I am more than capable of protecting myself from ruffians, but those around me tend to worry, and so I am often denied the pleasure of a private stroll. I'm happy to escort you if you want to go out. You're too important. I'm afraid it can't be helped. It's okay to sneak out sometimes. Probably just wants to hear this. Doesn't want to go with me every time. It's okay to sneak out sometimes. Oh no, maybe she did want to hear that she wanted to go with me. I mean, I doubt she wanted to hear it as she was too important. Hey, Ash.
Not just Tomas, but Monica, too. We can't be sure who to trust anymore, can we?
No, it's all going a little tits up, isn't it?
Who are these people, really? What do they want?
All good questions, all good questions. Oh, is interaction magic yours, maybe?
This isn't mine.
No. I mean, you're good to magic in my file, but... Hey, Cyril, how are things going?
Oh, Goddess, hear my prayer. Please receive this beloved person. When the cold rain washes the body, when the bird and wolf announce
It's a bit of a
the
graphic
dawn,
image.
receive them into your blue blood. Receive them into a twinkling star. That's a morning scripture from the Church of Saros. Lady Rhea taught it to me.
And your delivery was spot on.
I pray that Geralt is happy in the next world.
That's very sweet, Cyril. I appreciate that. Do I have more renown, which I could use to buy statue improvements? I sure don't. See you again soon. Who's hanging around? Ignatz! Ignatz! Get the feck out of your dormitory. I've got to speak to you. Oh, okay, fine. You can stay here. I'll come to you. Just gotta very slow. Watch the cat. Slowly run across the hall. Hey, buddy.
I'm scared. I feel that I don't understand the world.
I understand that you would feel that way.
Something like that happened to Geralt. He was so strong.
Well, they didn't fight him head on. They just stabbed him in the back because they're cowards. But what happens, happens, even though you're scared, push through. See, on the one hand, this feels like slightly dismissive of his fear. It's just like, just do it. Whereas this is also just dismissive of everything. So I guess this one's technically better. Even though you're scared, push through.
You're inspiring, Professor. I'll do my best.
Oh, well, I'm terrified, so, I mean, I'm just telling you to do what I'm trying to do, that's all. I think I have a few things that belong to you. Maybe this?
Someone lost that, huh?
Bugger. This, then, for sure.
That's mine. Thank you so much. I've been looking everywhere.
Not to worry, not to worry. I didn't read it or anything. You're good. Who's in the library? Looking for a book on how to deal with grief or something? Hey! That's not what I meant to read. Oh no, that totally was what I meant to read. I skipped it. Dang it. That was professor level stuff. I thought I accidentally read one of the books off the wall.
First Tomas, and now Monica. I am so... The failing was clearly our own.
Oh, don't look at it as a failing. Just look at it as they used advanced black magic to transform their appearances and then snuck into our monastery/house.
We didn't notice the enemy's invasion. And now Geralt. I apologize. There is nothing I can say to atone for us.
I don't think the goddess is going to smite you for making a mistake.
Professor, please do not let your guard down, even among the people of the monastery.
You're right. I shouldn't even trust you. But thank you for the heads up.
Where another enemy may be hiding.
You're absolutely right. Could be any one of us. Could be Raphael.
Monica von Ox. There is nothing suspicious in her past that would suggest this change of character.
No, but she was extremely suspicious when she actually came back.
her transformation.
As Hilda
must have
noticed,
something
and I
to do
completely
with her
grazed over.
disappearance last year. Sadly, that is the extent of my knowledge. I wonder who kidnapped her and why.
Hey, at least we know now that if anyone gets kidnapped and then shows up a year later being like, oh yeah, I'm totally fine, that's probably not true. And since Dimitri and I are among the privileged elite to know that Monica is not who that actually was, we can only assume that the real Monica got very beheaded a while back.
You've lost someone very dear to you. I'm so... You have empathy.
Thank you. It's a little strange you cut yourself off from saying sorry, but I guess you're all tight and professional, so... Oh, that's fine. I'm not doing anything important this month. That's very kind.
Strength in your eyes. I know you'll recover.
Aw. Hammond really is a good dude. Like, even though he's all eccentric professor type, he really is just like he's got a very genuine personality underneath it all. Is this your lens cloth?
I can't believe I left this behind. Oh, thank you so much for retrieving it.
Not to worry. Probably could have replaced it with another one, but cheerio. Oh, Eloise? Never mind, you're not Eloise. I thought I was in Gerald's room. Where is Gerald's room? Oh no, Gerald's up this away. I guess Eloise isn't here. Oh right, because he's part of the Knights. Come on, Wella.
I have something rather uncomfortable to discuss.
Right?
It's about the weapon that killed Gerald.
Mm-hmm.
Will
I
you
saw it.
listen?
Oh, listen.
It's a dagger, but I know enough to know it wasn't an ordinary dagger.
It was a sharp one.
It wasn't made of iron or steel because, well, because whatever it was, the wound it left wasn't normal.
Is that why it made him bleed purple blood? Or was that for other weird Gerald-y reasons?
Who could make a blade like that, do you figure?
Anyone with the right professor level, I guess. These are not yours. Bye-bye. Wait, your dialogue is still red.
I wonder who they were.
Yes, that's very strange. Thank you for having it at the end of your dialogue now so I can leave. I mean, part of this weird underground cult we've been seeing. Hi, Sothis. Encyclopedia of Fodlan's Fish. An encyclopedia dedicated to every type of fish in Fodland, as well as all of their various habitats. It is the product of a collaboration between countless fishermen and monastery students who compiled a thorough collection of studies regarding the habits of fish, advanced fishing methods, and even recipes. The level of detail is staggering. And it makes us better at teaching. Now we will teach the kids all about fish. Actually, Gerald had quite a lot of books. I was being sassy before and being like, he didn't read, but this man probably spent his off days doing nothing but reading. Probably read while he was fishing, in fact. Seems plausible. Hey, buddy.
Is something hiding just behind that book?
Well, you tell me, Eagle Eyes. A small leather bag. Had inside it a ring. Hey, that's the one he said I should propose with.
That ring. I have seen it before.
So have I.
Ah, I know. Gerald showed that ring to you beside a grave. Do you recall?
Yeah, and now he's in the grave.
He said
It's funny how the world
to
works.
have that ring one day. That means it's yours.
Right?
He also said that you should gift that ring to someone special.
I remember. Not right now, obviously, because it doesn't show up in the gift menu. So does that mean I get his armor and everything too? Bro, I'm fighting with this candlestick next match. So we own this candlestick now. What do you want to do with it? Alright, you're no fun. Hey, Rhea, anything you want to tell me about the mysterious circumstances of my birth now that Gerald's dead?
Professor, how are you holding up?
With 2 hands and all 10 fingers.
Upon one's heart. I lost my mother some time ago. It was
brutal, I imagine. Sorry to hear about it.
Of weakness. Even all these years later, I can recall that time without feeling the pain, as if it were brand new.
Feeling pain does not make you weak,
Just
but
know that I am praying for your mind and your
so as all is forgiven, anyways. Thank you. Do you play weird games, Sedith? How are things? Did you lose another thing in your own room?
First Tomas, and now Monica. I do have a theory, though I admit it is nothing more than speculation.
I'm all ears.
Both Tomas and Monica have each gone missing at one time or another.
Okay, yes, we both picked up on that.
It was reported that when Monica returned from her disappearance, she began to act like a completely different person.
Well, it was reported by Hilda, so how trustworthy can we really be about it? I know I just said like half an hour ago that she was totally right to have been suspicious, but never mind. I'm just playing all the angles here.
And replaced by an imposter.
Yes, that seems likely at this point.
Thinking of it like that, it is possible that this Solon had been impersonating Tomas for some time. How they
Who knows?
Managed such a convincing change of appearance, though, I still do not understand.
And we probably won't, ever. Just stop thinking about it. Is this your quill that was on the ground? I mean, it's broken, so I don't really know why.
This is mine. Thank you for returning it.
Cool, cool, cool. Flame. How are things? I hope you're not too afraid of all the murder and kidnapping that's been going on.
You have lost your father.
Accurate assessment?
Now more than ever, do I understand how very lucky I am that you were able to save me.
Oh. It was a fluke entirely,
Professor,
so.
I deeply appreciate what you have done. Thank you.
I would do it all again, but probably I would mess it up the second time, so don't go get kidnapped or anything.
If there is anything at all I can do in return, please tell me, okay?
Just, keep setting the bad guys on fire. You're doing great. Maybe you like weird games? Damn it. Hubi, never been much for condolences, no, as I gathered. That's why you're hiding behind this rack of mysterious armor.
I've never been much for condolences.
That's all you have to say about that. All right, Master of Comfort and Support, Hubert over here. I mean, at least he's honest about it. Well, I've let this episode drag on a little, so I'm going to do all of the activity point stuff off camera. I think I'm most likely going to spend most of it on food, as usual. Maybe I'll do the bow tournament for a nice silver bow or something. I don't really know. And then I'll probably do a bunch of fishing and all kinds of stuff off camera. But I suppose the question I will ask, because more or less the most of what we've done this episode is have other people try to console us in one way or another. So, or at least just express their feelings about old Daddy-O's death. So I guess I already kind of mentioned earlier how Annette and Mercedes impacted me the most the first time I played it, but I kind of want to ask whose reaction to Gerald's death, like non-Byleth characters' reaction to Gerald's death is the most realistic, but that's kind of a dumb question to ask because they're all they're all true to life in different ways. I'm sure there are plenty of people who would just be like, I'm sorry, I don't really know how to console you, like, or give condolences like Hubert would. And that's totally real, and I totally believe people would say that. And if, heaven forbid, it was someone was actually like murdered near you, then I'm sure some people would be like, I'll kill someone for you, like it's ridiculous. People times like this make people say crazy things. So I guess I'll ask it anyways, even though I understand that this is they're all real in some way, but which reaction of another character that isn't Byleth to Gerald's death seems the most true to life, I suppose? I mean, we've got all kinds of things. We've got Ingrid and Dorothea being like, well, I don't really know what exactly to say. Hubert saying, I know that I don't want to say anything. Ash just trying to figure out why it would have happened. Dimitri and Lawrence and Edelgard being like, vengeance! Claude saying that things will just carry on, like all kinds of reactions. I think, even though Annette and Mercedes kind of hit me the hardest, I think Claude's is probably the most, Claude's and Dorothea's, I think, are the most real, for me personally, the things I expect most people would say. I understand I said earlier that Annette and Mercedes, it was a thing I would expect people, I could see happening, but I don't think it's the most common, it would be the most common reaction, but it feels like among the most close reactions. But I think Claude and Dorothea's, the way they say it are probably feel the most real to me. So that would be my answer for that question, I suppose. Because Dorothea, obviously she says she's sung about death, but I guess in a more contemporary context, we could all be like, yes, I've seen death in fiction many times, or read about it in history or whatever. But it's always different when it's real. And Claude just being like, I haven't felt the things you felt yet, and may not ever. But here's a thought about the way the world moves or whatever. Things are gonna carry on and things will get better. And even Dimitri said something at some point. I'm sorry, I'm just reminiscing about all the things they said because I think this is one of the strongest chapters in the game in terms of tertiary dialogue wise. Dimitri said that thing about your tears will eventually dry and all that. Lots of good lines anyways. So there's my question. Next video is going to be whenever I can find my notes. Omori! It's gonna be more Omori. So I look forward to seeing you in that, and also to making the thing not go to screensaver. And with that, we're all out of time, and things are all coming to a head here. So next time we'll be doing, I guess, we've got a bunch more paralogs to do still, right? Only 4, okay. We could probably take them out all in this month then. Well, actually, it doesn't tell me when they expire now, because I still want to do the rare monster sightings, and I should probably do those 2 quests that we've got stacking up now as well. We'll figure it out next episode, I suppose. So that's that. Thank you very much for coming around. Hopefully I will see you around. Admiral's gonna be out of here now. Peace! What is that? Hello? Tell me that's a Wonder Chef. Yeah! It certainly seemed out of place. I am the mysterious gourmet, the Wonder Chef. It's easy on the stomach and very healthy. I shall teach you the recipe for risotto. Sweet. Just rice and then some kind of vegetable, I guess. Maybe butter.